All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashai, Bahasham Rekapadash, Brakathum. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that were well, and the salute and the Shalom to all the Akim that are out here laboring, pushing the truth in all sincerity and in truth. I was running some errands earlier. Was as I was driving, I was listening to the elder Yashawamba's lesson he put up 6 hours ago. Melchizedek, the heavenly high priest, right? So it's a very edifying lesson. Subscribe and be edified. Right now, he mentioned that he mentioned that Sakari didn't want to listen about the priesthood of Melchizedek, right? Because the priesthood of Melchizedek is over the priesthood of Aaron, right? The priesthood of Melchizedek is a better priesthood, right? It's an eternal priesthood, right? The priesthood of Aaron was only a temporary priesthood, right? So, but let me take it back. See.
All right? But the new covenant is going to be ushered in through YAHAWASHI, who's going to put the law in our inward part. Nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come. What I mean, all right, is that when Melchizedek came to the earth, basically, right? What I mean is our Lord came from the tribe of Judah, and Moses never mentioned priests coming from that tribe, right? Let's get Genesis 49. All right, he's speaking of, according to the law of Moses, no priest could come from the order of Judah. All right, the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Naphtali, Benjamin. You had to be born of the tribe of Levi, right? Genesis 49, all right, and 10. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. All right? I'm going to just jump to the point because I don't have much time. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet.
See?
Until Shiloh come, which is Yahawashi.
Yep.
And unto him shall the gathering of the people be. So it's showing you that your high priest is going to come from Judah.
Yep.
That's the lawgiver. Right? Under the first covenant, all right, it was through what? Levi. All right? But the new covenant is going to be ushered in through YAHAWASHI, who's going to put the law in our inward part. All right? And the scepter will come through his sacrifice.
Yeah.
Okay? Which the law requires sacrifice, right? Going back to the book of Hebrews, right? So it says here, for the priest we're talking about, YAHAWASHI, the son of the Most High, belongs to a different tribe.
Yep.
Whose members have never served at the altar as priests. What I mean is our Lord came from the tribe of Judah, and Moses never mentioned priests coming from that tribe. Yahawashi is like Melchizedek. This change has been made very clear since the different priest, all right, since a different priest who was like Melchizedek has appeared. Okay? The Son of God has appeared, but see, he came in a human body. All right? The Son of God came in human flesh. Yahawashi became a priest, not
the Sakari, well, I'll say this. The Sakari, they didn't they didn't show any respect unto the priesthood under the order of Melchizedek. They didn't show any respect unto that priesthood. That's an eternal priesthood, right? Especially Alizé, right? So Alizé didn't show any respect right? Didn't show any respect unto Yahawashi's authority, and neither did Deacon Hakah, was so-called Deacon Hakah. So I did a lesson on this before. Ancient manner and customs, 427, kissing and act of homage, right? Let's see something real quick though.
About belong to a different tribe whose members have never served at the altar as priests. What I mean, all right, is that when Melchizedek came to the earth, basically, right? What I mean is our Lord came from the tribe of Judah, and Moses never mentioned priests coming from that tribe, right? Let's get Genesis 49. All right, he's speaking of, according to the law of Moses, no priest could come from the order of Judah. All right, the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Naphtali, Benjamin. You had to be born of the tribe of Levi, right? Genesis 49.
Let's see.
Priesthood within priest after an order of return to that Alahayim state. That's why the scriptures say, and somebody can get it and put it on the comment board in the book of Zechariah, the 12th chapter, I believe the 8th verse, the house of David shall be as God. And the word God is Alahayim. We're going to return to what we were in the beginning. See that? Hopefully this makes sense. And it's so much more, right? It says, so if the priesthood of Levi, on which the law was based, could have achieved the perfection the Most High intended, why did the Most High need to establish a different priesthood within priest after an order of Melchizedek instead of the order of Levi and Aaron? And if the priesthood is changed, the law must also be changed to permit it. All right? And
So it says this is Psalms 2 and 12. It says, kiss the Son, lest he be angry. Ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little, right? Now, let's get that. Psalms 2 and 12. All right, Psalms 2 and 12, it says, submit to Yahweh's royal Son, or he will become angry, and you will be destroyed in the midst of all of your activities. For his anger flares up in an instant, but what joy of all who take refuge in him. Right? So, I looked up I asked Chat GPT this question, not referencing not referencing a king in the ancient world, what would happen? All right. It says, in much of the ancient world, failing to properly reverence, honor, or acknowledge a king, especially in a public or official setting, could have very serious consequences. What happened depended on the culture, the context, and whether it was seen as an accident or a deliberate disrespect, right? Now, let's go down to ancient Israel and their east. In monarchies described in texts like those involving King David. A failure to show loyalty to the king could be treated as treason. Open refusal to acknowledge royal authority could result in death, right? Now, uh, 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 Alizé and so-called Deacon Akkad, right? They refused to acknowledge Yahawashi's authority. They didn't want to acknowledge his authority. Okay? And Yahawashai broke up that group anyway. Broke them up. All right? Let's get this. When Samuel anointed Saul, he kissed the newly made king. This act of homage was a recognition of his royalty. 1 Samuel 10:1. It is a custom still observed in India and Arabia. In this way, the psalmist desires all men to recognize the royalty of the son. Kissing was an act of worship among idolaters. See 1 Kings 19 and 18. 1 Kings 19 and 18. Here it is. It says, "Yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which hath not kissed him." See? It says, let's get Job 31 and 27. It says, "And my heart hath been secretly enticed, or my mouth has kissed my hand." Let's get this. Verse 26, it says, "Have I looked at the moon?" It says, "Have I looked at the sun shining in the skies, or the moon walking down its silver pathway, and been secretly enticed in my heart to throw kisses at them and worship? If so, I shall be punished by the judges. If it would mean I had denied the power of heaven." See? Hosea 13 and 2. Hosea 13 and 2. All right. It say, "And now they sin more and more, and have made them molten images of their silver and idols according to their own understanding. All of it the work of the craftsman. They say of them, let the men that sacrifice kiss the calves." See? It says here, instead of worshiping idols, Yahweh would have us to worship his son, Yahawashai Mashiach. Right? An interesting incident is given in Irby and Mangle, something like that, travels, showing how kissing was used as a token of reconciliation. The circumstance recorded occurred near Petra. All right. Now, what is homage? Homage, homage definition. Homage means special honor or respect shown publicly. Respect, recognition, esteem, adulation, honor, reverence, worship, acknowledgement. So, Alizé and Hakah, they didn't acknowledge Yahawashi's authority. Now look at what they're doing. Right? In a sense, they didn't acknowledge Yahawashi's authority. Guess who's going to destroy them? Yahawashi will. Hold on. Let's get this real quick. 144. Look at that. All praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWASHI Yahushua. This is John 5:23. For the Father judgeth no man, but hath committed all judgment unto the Son, that all men should honor the Son, and even as they honor the Father, that it says, he that honoreth not the Son honoreth not the Father, which hath sent him. It says, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me hath everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. See, man? So, you have to honor Yahawashi, even as you honor the Father, Yahweh. You don't have a choice. Let me see this. Why do this keep doing this? Oh, damn, man. Let's see. Let's see something. Let me see. All right. This is 1 Timothy 6:14. The point is in 15. It says, thou that keep the commandment without spot, unrebukable, until the appearing of our Lord Yahawashi Mashiach, which in his times he shall shew who is blessed and only penitent, the King of kings and Lord of lords, right? So our Lord Yahawashi, he's the King of kings and Lord of lords. So our Lord YAHAWASHI is a king. All right, and we must show him reverence. We must bow to him. He's the king of kings. Now, let's get this. Let's see. That's first. Yeah, that's First Samuel. Shoot. What is it? I'll find it. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Now, Nabal, right? Nabal didn't show King David reverence. He didn't show him honor. He basically disrespected King David's messengers, right? His men. So by Nabal disrespecting and insulting King David's men, he disrespected who? King David. Now, let's see. Here it is. It says, and David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men. And David said unto the young men, get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. Thus shall ye say to him that liveth in prosperity, peace be, it says, peace be both to thee, and peace be to thine household, and peace be unto all that thou hast. Right? And now I have heard that thou hast shearers. Now it says, now thy shepherds, which were with us, we heard them not, neither was there any, it says, neither was there aught missing unto them all the while they were in Carmel, right? So David said, David told the 10 young men that he sent to Nabal to tell him this, tell him everything was good. His shepherds that were safe, and we didn't take nothing, right? Ask thy young men, and they will shew thee. Wherefore let the young men find favor in thine eyes, for we come in a good day. Right? It was a time of what? Celebration. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to thine hand, unto thy servants, and to thy son David. And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words, in the name of David, and ceased. And Nabal answered David's servants, and said, who is David? Who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants now. It says, there be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master, right? Shall I then, it says, should I take my bread and my water and my meat that I have slaughtered for my shearers and give it to a band of outlaws who come from who knows where? Right? Now, Let's get this. So David's young men returned and told him what Nabal had said. Get now, this is what David said. And David said unto his men, gird ye on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword. And David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 of bold by the stuff, right? Because, because Nabal disrespected and insulted King David's men. He also disrespected and insulted who? King David. See? And David was now David and his 400 men, they were coming to kill Nabal and everyone in his household. Now, let's get this again. Here it is. It say, in monarchies, describes in texts like those involving King David, failing to show loyalty to the king could be treated as treason. Open refusal to acknowledge royal authority. Nabal did not acknowledge royal authority, could result in death. See? Kissing is an act of homage, man. Jake, we must submit unto our Lord YAHAWASHI. He's the king. He's the King of Kings, man, and the Lord of Lords. All right, so with that, I say shalom.